Hey y'all, it's Jennelle.
And this is Ashley. Welcome to Loving in Reality.
Hey y'all, it's Ashley and Jennelle. We're back after a much needed break, spending some time with our family and friends, but we are here to discuss episodes 10 and 11 of Married at First Sight, season 14.
Yes, a lot has happened in these last 2 weeks, and we're a little over halfway to decision day at this point. So it'll be interesting to see where the couples go next from here.
Yes, and my predictions have definitely changed.
I don't even remember what my predictions were. I should have written them down somewhere, but I don't know if I did.
Yeah, a few of mine are different. But let's go ahead and get started. We usually start with Steve and Noy. They're the most stable, strongest couple.
Yeah, Steve
right
and
now.
Noy are pretty much the same to me. The only thing that I found was interesting, especially with her continuously bringing up this money thing, is how last episode, the one that just aired, where he said, we're on the boat, and he was like, I've tried to have these conversations with you before, but you're not open to them. So that is kind of confusing to me.
Yes, there were a few parts on this episode where I felt like, did I miss something? And that was one of those moments.
Well, I was just trying, maybe it happens off camera, which is, if it did, then that's fine. But I'm like, if he's been trying to have these conversations with you about the financial thing, but you've been avoiding them, I'm not understanding why, if it's such a big concern.
I wonder if it's because nothing's changed. Like you said, Steve and Noy are just being Steve and Noy. Nothing really has changed from week to week. He's still not working. She's still not happy. He's not working. He doesn't want to work. She's not happy. He doesn't want to work. She's asking for a plan. He's not giving her a plan.
Well, maybe that's what he's trying to discuss with her is a plan. He's trying to discuss a plan. If I'm like, okay, let's talk about it where we can discuss a plan or what we're going to do or what my plan is or what my ideas are. And you're like, no, I don't want to talk about it. That's not really making sense.
But she said on the boat, because she brought it up on their very romantic date, not quite sure why, she brought it up that she needs this to hear this plan. And he still hasn't shared one with her.
I don't know. It's just giving me very much like Noy just wants him to work. It doesn't matter how much money he has. It doesn't matter how much money he saved. She just wants him to get up and go to work. And that's what is not making sense. I don't know if she knows
how much money he has. Do you think they've had that conversation? Because it sounds like they haven't.
It sounds like he's tried to have it with her. I feel like Steve has enough money. And then also the episode prior,
he needs to tell her that.
I feel like he's tried. That's why he said, I tried to have these conversations with you, but you don't want to. That's what that seems.
I just don't believe that. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that.
I don't know why. Why would you not believe it?
Because Noy clearly, she has been like begging for a plan. So I just would find it very strange that she would put it off.
I don't know.
That doesn't even make sense when she literally sat there and has said to him, to us in her little confessionals, that that's what she needs. She's waiting on that.
I don't really think she wants a plan.
I wonder if what he's referring to is different from what she's needing to hear.
I think she just wants him to work. I think that's what, if the plan doesn't involve him working, then I don't think she wants to hear it. That's how I feel. Because Dr. Viviana, not the last episode that just aired, but the one before that, the episode before that, Dr. Viviana asked her, so what if he had, so much savings where he didn't need to work, essentially is what she asked Noy, would you still want him to go to work? And she said, yes, I've just pictured my husband working. So it's not even about, and I feel like that's why she's avoiding the conversation about finances, because that's not what it's about to her. It's not about how much money he has or any of that. She just wants him to work, which to me is senseless.
I think she probably wants to know and hear more than that. Cool, you got a savings, but it has to be replenished at some point. Like, we're going to be spending money.
Yeah, I understand that. I feel like, I don't know. To me, it seems like Steve was trying to trying to, tell her what his plan is or what he wants to do. But if it doesn't involve him having a job right now, tomorrow, next month, or whatever, anytime in the near future, doesn't seem like Noi is being very receptive to it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what they've talked about or tried to talk about off camera, because Steve has not said any type of plan. He just said, I want to do this. That's not a plan, Steve.
Yeah.
How are we going
I think they definitely
get there?
had conversations off camera. I don't think anything on camera has anything to do with what his plan is. I feel like Steve and Noi are very vague when it comes to their personal lives, even with the sex and anything that's happening with them personally on camera. They don't give too much details. But I do think off camera he's tried to have that conversation. So I'm not just thinking only what I've seen on camera, just from what I can tell from the both of them. But I don't know. I just feel like Noi is just very rigid in her thoughts of him working. And there's no room for, kind of like with the kids. Like, she's just like, no, you need to have a job, point blank period, like tomorrow.
Yeah. And I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with her wanting that. If that's what you want, that's what you want. And then he just may not be for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was just thinking that about him. Like, she just might not be, if she can't see or they can't believe in each other, that would be a problem. And it seems like, whatever his plan is, and he's saying like, I have savings for right now to try to build whatever this is I'm trying to build. If that's going to be a point of tension, and you can't be, there's no flexibility from her in that. And maybe she's feeling like there's no flexibility. There has to be flexibility from the both of them, I guess, is what I'm saying. So I don't know how that's going to go.
I can kind of see her saying like, okay, and kind of agreeing to go along with whatever it is he wants to do. But like her still bringing it up. I just feel like she's going to have some resentment or something.
That's also a problem. Like, if you're not okay with it, don't pretend to be.
Yeah. I don't see her saying no on decision day because of this.
Yeah. And I still don't think it's fair to Steve for him to have worked so hard to get to this point where he saved so much money, where he can go out and venture on his own and like, okay, now I can do something that I really have been passionate about and trying to do, and not having that support of after working for so long to be able to do that would be disappointing and kind of hurtful as well.
I definitely see both sides. Noi feels the way she does because of her upbringing, and I get why Steve feels the way he feels. So I don't know if they just need to sit down, talk, and come up with something that works for the both of them. That's it.
Yeah, there needs to be flexibility.
Easier said than done, but they actually both need to be a little bit more flexible, because he has to think about her too.
That's what I was saying.
Focus on him.
They both need to have some type of flexibility in what they're in this plan and what they have going on. But,
just compromise, y'all. Compromise. It's not easy, but if they do that, they'll be fine. Yeah,
so hopefully Steve and Noi can figure that out.
It's the same old with them. I'm actually kind of tired of hearing about it. Like, look, y'all let us know when y'all have this discussion.
Right.
Y'all are keeping us away from the drama. I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing about y'all and y'all same old issue.
Yeah, it's the same thing with him not working. I don't know.
Yeah. Their anniversary was really cute and sweet. I like the gifts that they got each other. Their date was really nice.
Think, of all the anniversaries, I think theirs was probably the most boring.
Well, they just are kind of boring, to be honest.
Like, they didn't do anything, like, they just sat on the edge of, besides the boat ride was nice, but I feel like everybody else had like a day full of things.
Yeah.
They kind of just had the boat ride at night. Yeah.
They are the most boring couple, but they're also the most stable.
Yeah. I feel like that's because of Steve, honestly. I'm giving him too much credit. I don't know. Well, no, because she said the same thing.
You are a big fan of Steve. You said over. She came out the gate, y'all blaming things on Noi. He tried to talk to her. Noi ain't listening.
That's just from what I can tell.
I'm not like 100% like a Steve fanatic, because I probably prefer my husband to work too. I just don't think as rich about it as Noi is.
Yeah.
But again, you have to do what works for you, and they'll figure that out. But I think for her, it's about feeling secure and safe because she didn't have that growing up. Like, I think that's what she
and I can
equates money
understand
to,
that.
is feeling safe and secure.
Yeah, and I guess because how I grew up, I just rather it to spend time, and that's kind of stuff that you can't get back. Like, I don't know. I just think about it differently. And also, I guess with my earlier on in career, like when I was in the Army, like always working, always gone, not spending time with my family, not seeing my family. That's more important to me now than working. Like you said, it's just the same cycle with them. The same problem. The one problem.
It's the same thing. Literally the same thing. But moving on to, we could get Mark and Lindsay out the way.
Oh, they're so up and down. I don't know. It's whatever.
They are.
They're so up and down.
I also feel like they're kind of boring too.
It's just so confusing. I do feel a lot of the things that Mark says about Lindsay, like if he were to do, like I think he said in last episode, like some of the things that she does, if he were to do, she would be like flying off the handle. And I feel like
I
Mark,
agree with that.
I still feel like Mark just feels appreciative of the things that he's done, of things that she's done. I'm sorry, but I don't think he wants her. I don't know how else to say it, because that's all I get. That's all I see from him is just showing appreciation. Like I appreciate, you doing all these things, because he doesn't want to seem ungrateful. But then at the same, in the same token, there's so many things like he finds to be annoying about her. And she can't understand that.
It seems like he's trying, because I know he wants this to work. I think one thing about Lindsay, I've noticed, is she does not take accountability for anything. I don't think I've heard her apologize for anything once, like not once.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing.
Well, Mark has repeatedly apologized.
Right. I think he's just like, if I were to do these things, it would be like World War III, but she continues to do these things. And then her excuse is, "But I did this for you, and I'm always here for you, and I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to better you." And it's like, what? You're not. What?
Yeah. Like if I were Mark, I wouldn't even want her to help me with anything or do anything for me, because she's just going to hold it over his head.
Yeah. And use it as an excuse to her behavior. Like, who cares about me, annoying the crap out of you because I just helped you get a new job?
Right. Yeah, I don't really like that about Lindsay. I'm seeing this process is not helping her grow. She's just saying the exact same.
Take accountability, right?
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing. He has been so apologetic for everything. He's showing appreciation, even for their anniversary. He got her a gift and planned this really sweet trip for them, and she didn't even get him anything.
Yeah. I hate anniversaries that are one-sided. I really just hate, I hate anything, anniversaries, holidays, Valentine's days that are one-sided. I just absolutely hate that, because I'm like, guys deserve love too. Like, why do some females just be like, it's all about them all the time? I don't like that.
Yeah, no, for anniversary, it's about both of you. Like, both of you should be celebrated and celebrating. So, yeah, I didn't like that she didn't get him a gift.
Yeah, it's not even, it's just the thoughtfulness. Like, even if he didn't get her a gift, he did all these things thinking of her and what she would like. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's just a thoughtfulness of, celebrating. We care for each other.
Right.
Yeah, I don't get that from her at all.
Me either. And what did you think about her being upset about him, about his whole job situation?
I don't know.
I was like, wait, why is she mad?
I don't know.
Maybe not mad, but annoyed. I just didn't.
She didn't like his job, right? Anyway,
she didn't. I wouldn't think so. Not the way she went off on it in that bathroom.
That's what he was saying on the way home. She was like, Lindsay doesn't even think much about my job anyway. I don't know. I feel like she just be like, you need to get your life together. I feel like that falls into that whole you need to get your life together thing.
Yeah, I didn't think that made any sense.
I didn't even get why he was fired when his boss said come back after filming. I'm like, what is...
I don't know. I think did it have something to do with the show?
I was like, not Married at First Sight getting people fired from their job.
Maybe he was having to take too much time off for the show. I don't know.
I thought they were supposed to be just like living their lives and and they record when they're home. Like, that's messed up.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. But I don't see anything wrong with him wanting to work. He feels like he needs to work. If not, he's going to be unhappy.
Yeah. I mean, some people...
You're not going to get the best version of him.
I mean, and that's important to some people. Wanting to work is important. They feel value in working and being able to contribute in that way. Mm-hmm. Being able to contribute in that way.
She's just like, no.
You can spend more time with me. We can get to know each other better. But I feel like that's just something she's just going to hold over his head.
Yeah, she will. I'm at work all day. What are you here doing?
Yeah.
You don't appreciate me. I'm working. You're not.
He doesn't want her for anything. He does not want to want her for anything, including any type of money. Like, this living situation, he already, I feel like, regrets. Because at first he was like, oh, wow, like, she's fine with us living together and moving in after this is all over because of my apartment. Mm-hmm. But then the way that she was talking about it, he's like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore because now you're making me feel bad. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it will be the same thing with the job.
Look at me. She's like, look at me. Look how supportive I'm being.
Right. Are you, though? Being supportive and critical in the same breath.
Right. Yeah. Also, their scenes from last week's episode, I was like, this is too much. I didn't even pay it any attention.
I am so glad Dr. Viviana called her out, though. The way she was talking was mad disrespectful.
Oh, yeah, about their sex life?
Yeah.
It seems like Lindsay likes to put him down.
You think putting a man down about his performance in the bedroom is going to help him perform better? Like, a lot of men's performance is off of confidence. Like, it's based off of confidence. Like, if he doesn't have the confidence to perform because you're always talking crap about his performance, he's not going to be able to perform. He's not even going to want to.
Right. Like, Lindsay, there is a way better. There's a more gentle way to communicate that your needs are not being met sexually. This ain't it.
Without talking down to him.
She does that a lot. It has to stop. Oh, and when she called Dr. Viviana Viv last week, I said, this girl, are y'all best friends now?
Oh, yeah. I thought Katina was going to go off when she called her a bitch at the table. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, Lindsay was out of line for that. All of her comments in that moment were out of line. Like, what did you just add here, Lindsay?
Why did you have to refer to her as a bitch, though? This whole, like, where did that come from?
Right. Y'all are cool. And I think she meant it as more of a term of endearment, but they're not cool like that.
Exactly. If we're not cool, I'm not going to take that as a term of endearment. I think because Katina was already just, on whatever Elijah won, she just ignored that. But I was like, immediately like, what?
Yeah, I think everyone at home watching was like, okay, Lindsay, you need to chill out and sit down and be quiet. She gets too comfortable and she acts so familiar with people. Like, what do you don't know what you're talking about? Be quiet.
And she gets not defensive, but the woe is me. Like, everybody's attacking me. Why is people being mean to me? That's not what's happening. Lindsay definitely needs to calm down and watch how she talks to people and about people. And like I said, I think Mark is getting tired of her being able to say whatever she wants to say, but him not being able to say what he wants to say. And then not even in a disrespectful way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't see them making it.
No, I think Lindsay's going to say yes. I don't think Mark is.
No. Lindsay needs to change.
I got ahead of myself on the prediction. My bad.
Yeah, I thought that they would be a yes on decision day, but no. Not anymore. That has changed.
Yeah, I'll be shocked.
All right. I think we should save the best for last. So let's talk about Jasmina and Michael.
Jasmina, and I feel kind of bad for Michael. He is really trying to put his best foot forward.
He really is trying.
Like, he is trying all that he can. He is like, what ways can I be better? He's not even focusing on like what are the things that she's doing. Like, he's basically doing all the right things that you're supposed to do when you're trying to make a relationship work.
He really is. And when that's why I was confused last week when she said she doesn't feel the effort from him.
Yeah.
I was like, he's done nothing but show effort. I mean, he had a few missteps, so I'm not going to forget about those.
I mean, everybody does, though. That's just relationship. No relationship, no person is going to do everything right. But I feel like he's been trying to be as consistent as humanly possible. You know, he's not, you know what I'm saying? He's not perfect. I just feel bad for him.
I know, especially after last week. Jasmina got on my last nerves last week. I don't know if I'm team Jasmina anymore, y'all. I don't know.
No, she's just, I don't know. Her communication, she feels like she is an excellent communicator. She's definitely not. I feel like she has a lot of preconceived notions about communication and how you should talk in a relationship, and it's kind of getting in the way of them actually being able to communicate.
Yeah. She, I believe, is the source of their communication issue.
Like, you know, everything is just so particular, but at the same time, she kind of, in some ways, when it comes to their, you know, issues with communication, it kind of reminds me of Lindsay, because she is very critical about how he talks, how he looks, what he says, his tone, yet she does all these things.
Yeah. Jasmina's tone and attitude it's weird how she was so worried that Michael would be negative about everything, but she is pretty negative. Like last week when Dr. Viviana recommended that they journal, which I think is an awesome idea, because I remember our therapist recommended that too. And it works pretty well, because we were getting into little arguments just like that. Like everything was an argument, just the smallest discussion. And sometimes writing things down can avoid that. But she was just like, you can write it down, but I can talk.
Yeah, I know how to communicate. Obviously not.
I was so baffled. I was like, an expert is recommending this technique because you both clearly have communication issues, not just Michael.
Yeah. And it's like, it's more, there's different parts of communication, and an important part of that is active listening. That is the part that Jasmina doesn't have. And that is the part where that particular exercise helps you with, because you have no choice but to pause, read and comprehend what the person is saying, and then respond. All it's doing is just teaching how to pause so you can take in what the other person is saying without interrupting. Because, I mean, you're reading whatever they wrote. You're not going to be like, and by the way, oh no, when you said this here, you're going to read the whole thing. You're not going to stop them, stop in the middle of them reading. You're going to read the whole thing. So that kind of helps with that active listening part, which she needs help with.
Yeah, she made it seem like it was such a ridiculous idea.
I don't know.
I did not get that.
Maybe Dr. Viviana should have explained the premise behind it a little bit more, or called her out a little bit more so she can recognize, like, okay, these are the things that I'm seeing in you, Jasmina, and this is why I'm recommending this, because of these things.
Yeah. Oh, she was so annoying last week. We keep interrupting each other. That only happened twice. Don't say keep, like it happens all the time. I said, girl.
Exactly. She's so particular with everything. She criticizes every little word that he says. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to say everything perfectly. I'm not going to regurgitate what you said to me exactly how you said it. If I'm saying, oh, you said this. I hate when people say that. Well, that's not what I said. I know that's not exactly what you said. I'm just giving you, the idea of what you said. I'm paraphrasing here. Like, work with me.
She was giving me Alyssa vibes last week. And I was like, if you don't calm down, the way she got up and left in the middle of him talking, I was like, what are you doing?
Just to come back, have her back face to him and roll her eyes the whole time.
Yeah. He didn't even do or say anything. Ridiculous.
I didn't detect the tone. I mean, yes, he's upset. He's upset and frustrated.
Didn't yell. His voice wasn't raised. I didn't think his tone was even that bad.
I think she needs to rethink this whole tone thing. If someone's upset, there might be a tone to how they're talking. There might be something in their voice where you would understand, like, I'm upset, because people are human and they have human emotions. Mm-hmm. But as long as the person is not being disrespectful, they're not being loud, they're not talking at you. Mm-hmm. People have emotions, Jasmina. And sometimes those things can be expressed. They don't have to be expressed in a disrespectful way. Like, I don't get this whole tone thing.
I don't either. I don't know why she is that way. Like, she's just making this more difficult than it needs to be. And poor Michael, he doesn't know how to say it, when to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to get to the point where he's going to give up.
But I don't know, from the episode last night, it seemed like things might have been taking a turn, and she started taking a little bit more accountability. So that's good. But I still see, like, I don't really see her liking him still.
I don't know if she does, because it's just like every little thing he does seems to bother her.
Yeah. But they had a good episode, I guess I'll just say. So they had a good episode. And
I was still looking at them the whole time, like, with my face scrunched. I was like, I don't know.
With their 1 month. He did so much. He had the music. He recreated their whole wedding day, kind of, as much as he could.
He put in so much effort, and it was so thoughtful and sweet, and the way he was talking about her.
Yes. I love the idea of them rewriting their vows now that they know each other, even though it's been a month, but still, versus, just writing them for a stranger. I was like, that's such a good idea. He knocked it out the park.
He did. He won. He won that episode. Of all the dates, that was the best one.
I mean, she didn't really do anything, but
I was like, Michael, I don't even know if she deserves all this.
She did. Did she get him anything or say anything? Or I don't think she did anything.
She did seem really appreciative of it, but no, I don't think she got him anything.
There we go again with that one way. I don't like it.
But he really likes her. The way he was talking to, I don't know if that was his friend or his brother about her. He's like, she's the woman I need. When she walks into the room, she commands attention. And like, he was just like giving her all these praises. And I was like, oh, wow, he really wants this to work.
Yeah, I just feel bad for the guy.
I know. I hope Jasmina starts giving a little.
I want to know what it is. Like, what is it about him that she doesn't like? Is it looks? Is she pulling an Alyssa? I don't know.
She might be, y'all. She might be.
I feel like she's trying to look past it. If it is looks, I feel like she's trying to look past it. And that's why she's like she's still doing all the things. Because I feel like she's trying to look past the looks and look for something else to build that connection with. But I don't think, it doesn't seem like it's working for her.
No. Yeah, like when I can't remember who said it, if it was him or her, that they kind of just feel like they're existing together in the same space.
I don't know.
Like they're roommates, pretty much. I think that may have been her. But that is the vibe I get from them.
I don't see how you can get that vibe, because they like sleep in the same bed every night. They go to bed together. Like, I don't know. What is going on?
Yeah, but they're just in the bed together. Like, are they cuddling or... I mean, they don't.
Maybe they need to do more physical things. Like, I'm not saying sex, but hold hands. Like, they need a little bit of physical touch, even if that's not your love language, so to speak. You still need to have that type of, build there.
Yeah, the only thing she'd be doing is grabbing his arms. I like your arms.
I know, she likes his arms.
That's about it. I don't think they've kissed since the honeymoon.
Maybe Mike needs to switch from the sweet to the sexy approach. I don't know what he needs to do.
Yeah, I guess he just doesn't want to. He wants her to take the lead on that, and I get it. Or like kind of follow her lead.
Maybe he needs to be a little bit more flirty. You got to have some type of build somewhere, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, I just don't know if she's feeling him like that. He's so sweet, though.
That didn't help.
Yes. And then last but not least, Hell no, I have never, from day zero, I have not liked Elijah. I am way past dislike. Way past dislike after this episode. I can't stand that man. I cannot stand that man.
I feel like, and I'm just, the reason I'm laughing is because I know you're not going to like what I have to say.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
No, I feel like Elijah Wan has an issue expressing how he feels. I feel like that's the big thing, and he puts off how he feels in something as something else that's not really the issue, and the something else is always something ridiculously stupid. That's what I feel like is happening.
Okay, wait a minute. Did he trick you into believing that last week?
What?
When he was sitting there, him and Katina talking to Dr. Viviana, where he was like, well, no, it's not really about the cooking and cleaning. It's you're not vulnerable. How did we go from cooking and cleaning to that?
No. I don't think that's it either. Like I said, I don't think he knows how to articulate. I don't even think he realizes what it is that he wants sometimes. I think Elijah Wan, because this is what I've been trying to figure out this whole time. I'm like, okay, he's saying he wants her to cook and clean, but he's like, but I'll cook and clean too. So I was like, well, this is not making sense. Is he wanting her to be is he wanting a cook and clean type wife? I'm like, is that, like, I started thinking about maybe that's what he saw in his mom, and he's thinking that's what a wife is, and blah, blah, blah. But then at the same time, he's cooking and cleaning, but not having a problem with it. So I'm like, that's not making sense. And then he goes on to the other stuff. And then the fact that he gets excited about the littlest things that I'm confused, like the popcorn in the movie night with the candy. And I'm like, what? And then the boat ride. And I'm like, what is going on? Elijah Wan is an acts of service types of person. That's just what it is. He likes for Katina to show that she cares for him by doing things for him. And he just doesn't know how to articulate that correctly. That's what I'm getting from all of that.
I guess so. I think my issue, and if you're an acts of service person, okay. But my thing is, you're not giving her anything. What has he done for her?
Well, that's the thing. I don't see her complaining about however she feels that, like, that she receives love or whatever it is. I don't see her complaining about it. It's him complaining about it. And I feel like he's just not articulating what he wants. I know, I feel like sometimes with people that are acts of service people, it takes, if you are an acts of service person and you have to ask for those services, it takes away from the services. Love.
What is the act? Okay, I get the cooking and cleaning, but how is the movie date and then the gondola ride an act of service? Because I think Elijah Wan just wants everything to be about him. He wants to be waited on hand and foot, and he wants to be wooed. For someone that's like, especially when it comes to a guy that's an acts of service type of person, that might be how it might be portrayed to someone else. Because acts of service is not necessarily, like he said, it's not about the cooking and cleaning. It doesn't even have to be cooking and cleaning every night. It's just doing things for me that you know that I would like to do. It could be planning a date, because this is an act of service. You did this for me. You put together this whole date for me. You playing a movie night. That's not that big of a deal, but you got the movie, the candy, and all this other kind of stuff, and you do all this for me. So someone that is an acts of service person, it could come off to somebody else that's like, oh, you just like things, you like to be catered to. But the thing is, Jennelle, she does cook for him.
Yeah.
I mean, so what are you complaining about?
That's what I'm saying.
What really is the issue?
When he was saying, oh, you're not being vulnerable, I think he's not feeling that she cares. I don't know why. This is what I'm getting from what he's saying. He's saying that she's just not feeling the love based off of what she's doing. And do I feel like she's doing a lot? Yes. I feel like what he needs to really do is just recognize the things that she is doing as, you know, these are different acts of service that she is doing for you, and appreciate those things. But like I said, I feel like he's an acts of service type of person, and he's not being appreciative or recognizing, you know, those services being done, because maybe they're not being done like how
to
or
his
in the way,
standards.
not in the, well, maybe that's to his standards, or just in how he would expect them to be done. Like, okay, you're doing this for me. He's like, well, that's not doing something for me, but actually it is, Elijah, that is doing something for you. So I feel like maybe it's a little bit of that as well.
Now, I do agree that he has issues articulating things, but I don't know. I still can't really give him much grace or compassion here.
I'm not giving him grace and compassion. I'm just thinking that's where he needs help at. He needs help in this situation. I'm not making excuses for him. I mean, he needs to help. He needs to help. He needs to recognize these things about himself. I feel like that's the problem.
Because I think Katina is just so consumed and overwhelmed with trying to please this man in any way she can. She doesn't even have time to worry about her needs and what he's not giving.
Right. That's
I think
he
that's
doesn't
what
know
the
what he
issue
wants.
is. I was going to say she's just so focused on him and pleasing him that I personally feel like she's neglecting what she needs.
Yeah, and that's probably true because he doesn't know what he wants. He's like, I feel like he's an active service person, but he doesn't know what that means for him. I don't even think he realizes it at all. And I don't think that he knows what it means. So it's kind of like, I feel like something's missing. I feel like this is missing. Something's missing. Something's missing. And you have this other person like trying to figure out, okay, is it this? Is it that? Do you want this? Do you want that? But it's like, that's not for Katina to figure out. Elijah needs to figure that out. Yeah. And he's putting it all on her to figure out, but that's not right. And I think that's where a lot of the problem is. Like he's putting on her, like, no, this is not enough. No, this is not enough. No, this is not it. Elijah, you need to figure out what is it? What is it then?
But it's not even just that. Like he's talked about the way it just seems like his idea of what a woman is and is supposed to be is just so ridiculous. Like you don't cry. Yeah. Why don't you cry? You know, it's like he wants her to be this type. I don't know. He's created this image in his head of what a woman is, and she's not fitting into that box.
I don't know why he even says that because Katina has cried on camera before, like multiple times.
Because of him.
But I'm saying she's cried. So I don't know what he's even talking about. Like, you don't cry. Like I said, I don't know if Elijah knows what he's saying half the time. I've been said that, but I don't think he knows what he wants or what he's looking for or what he thinks, or what, this whole persona that he has. I don't think he fully understands it because if you break down and make a list of everything that he said, it doesn't make sense.
No, nothing he says makes sense. He just talks just to talk. I remember we were saying that a while ago. A lot of stuff he says, it literally makes no sense.
I feel like he puts a lot on Katina, and really, it's really about him discovering himself. He doesn't know himself as well as he thinks he does, or that he acts like he does. And instead, he puts
figure that out and leave her alone. Like, stop belittling this woman.
Yeah, and I don't understand why she allows it too. And that's another thing I don't understand about Katina either.
I'm wondering if she's doing that because she doesn't want to come off a certain type of way on the camera. Because there are several times, honey, we give you permission to go off on this man. Please. We're all doing it at home.
Even I don't know if he has an emotional regulation issue. Like even the situation with the dinner.
That was so ridiculous.
With the app on the phone, okay, I can understand that you're upset about this app on the phone, but the way that you just threw this whole temper tantrum like a child did not make sense.
It wasn't even that for me. It was the way that he embarrassed her in front of everyone and on TV. Why would you do that to your spouse?
Right, that's temper tantrum. He threw a whole temper tantrum for what?
I don't know if he threw a tantrum at the table, but the way he brought it up like that, that made me so mad.
To me, that's throwing a tantrum. I'm not saying like somebody's kicking and screaming and hollering, just acting out. That's him acting out. That's an adult temper tantrum to me. He was acting out for attention. He got everybody's attention that he wanted for everybody to be like, what's going on? What's happening? Katina's over here looking confused. To me, that's him throwing a temper tantrum.
He wanted to just continue to belittle this woman. He keeps doing that.
I'm just like,
he keeps doing that.
If it was that important, if it was that, first of all, because as I saw in the after show or whatever, he told Mike what happened. So Mike already knew what was going on at the table while everybody else was being dumbfounded. If you had enough sense or thoughts or whatever to pull Michael to the side and tell him how you were feeling, you should have had that same sentiment for your wife if it was bothering you that much. If it was that, like, it was that big of a deal to you where you like, you had her phone and you saw something on her phone, I would have much rather you had asked me in the moment, like, hey, what is this on your phone? And I could have explained it. Or when everybody got off the bus, we could have had a conversation. But that was his whole situation, which is inappropriate. He's not as mature as he thinks he is.
Oh, at all. And he's a terrible partner. You don't do that to your partner. I don't care how upset you are with them. Like, you guys need to present yourselves as a united front. The way he threw her under the bus like that, like, I wouldn't feel safe with someone like that.
And the whole thing about what he said, like, I don't know if this is marriage friendship or what do you say? Marriage.
Oh, marriage chemistry or friendship chemistry.
Yeah, he says things out of anger. I was like, what you mean?
I know, after she had said something pretty sweet too.
I was like, you're not really saying that for real, like marriage you know that it's not friendship chemistry. You know that, because if it was friendship chemistry, you wouldn't even care that much. You just said that you just said that because you were angry and you don't know how to regulate your emotions properly as an adult. That's all that was.
Oh, I do not like him at all, y'all. Like, I want her to leave now.
I can just see there's a lot of things, like, he needs to work on within himself, like what he really wants, to confront his whole, expectations on a wife, on marriage, on a husband even. Because some of the things that he even says about being a husband, I'm like, what does that got to do with what?
Oh, he has shown us that he is not a good husband.
No, I'm just saying his expectations, like how he talks about being a husband. It's like, why are these things that you feel like is a husband? So it's kind of like he needs to have these types of conversations. I feel like the experts or somebody needs to have these type of conversations with him to dive.
What do you think a husband is? I don't recall him.
He was saying something. I can't remember exactly, so I don't want to misquote. But it was just, to me, not as important as what he was thinking it was. I was thinking to myself. I just remember thinking to myself, like, what does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
It's like what does cooking and cleaning have to do with the wife? Like, it was something like that. It was like, what does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. The way he was speaking to her when they got back to the apartment, the yelling, I was like, oh, please stop this. Please stop this now. Like, why are you yelling at her? It was so ridiculous. And it wasn't even that. I mean, I probably would have been annoyed if I had seen the app too. But to make that big of a deal of it, we didn't need to do that. And I don't know if he saw the Houston season, the way Brett calmly talked to Ryan about it. It could have just been a conversation. It didn't need to be this, Elijah Wan.
I also think he's scared too. And I feel like a lot of that comes out, his fears come out, and it's just very unhealthy.
Yeah, that whole scene, the whole scene made me uncomfortable. The whole scene, when they were at the dinner, when they got up from the table, after you had just finished doing what you were doing, you want her to hold your hand?
Yeah, that was weird. I was like,
that was so weird. What is going on right now?
Did he put his arm out there? That's what I'm saying. He doesn't know how to express himself. How he expressed himself at that dinner. I think after everything was said and done, he immediately was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done it that way. It's like he's a child. Like, he doesn't know how to properly address situations when he's unhappy about them. He doesn't know how to do it.
I don't know if he saw anything wrong with what he did.
That's the only thing I can think of as to why he would be like, to me, that seems like he was like trying to throw an olive branch, like, kind of thing.
I don't think so.
Why would you put your arm out there after that situation?
He didn't see anything wrong with what just happened. Like, to him, that was just.
But it didn't make sense.
Why wouldn't I bring it up at the dinner? Why wouldn't I bring it up?
It wouldn't make sense if he was upset as he said he was. Why would he even want to hold her hand?
Well, remember, she had said we were just kissing on each other and holding hands a minute ago. You didn't act like you were mad or upset.
I thought she was talking about, like, on the bus.
Yeah, even at the dinner, I think, as they were, like, walking in.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think he saw anything wrong with that moment. And he wanted to keep talking about it. Do you want me to say it? I can say it. I mean,
He might as well have said it.
I know. I get that. Oh, that whole scene made me so uncomfortable, and him yelling at her at the house like that.
He might as well have said what happened. I feel like it would have been better if he would have said what the situation was, because I feel like people probably could have told him, like, okay, chill out or something.
Katina, you need to run. Like, leave this relationship now.
He has a lot of emotional regulation things.
Yeah, this isn't like, I'm going to stay and work. No, he need to go work on that by himself. I'm sorry. Because in the meantime, he's just going to be putting her down the way he's done these last 3 episodes, calling her lazy, questioning her mental capabilities, embarrassing her in front of everybody, yelling at her over something stupid.
Especially when he questioned her mentally. It's what I'm saying. It's just like, does he not know how to articulate himself? Because that can't be really what he means. It just can't be.
I don't know. I wouldn't stick around to figure it out. I would not stick around to figure it out.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. But I'm just like, this just doesn't make any sense. Like, what? Like, I was like, Dr. Viviana, like, what about this situation makes you question her mental capabilities? Like, what in this would make you question that? That does not make any sense.
Run, Katina, please run. I know she wants this to work, but he ain't it, honey.
The crazy thing about it is I feel like Katina is like fine. Not that she's fine, but I feel like she feels she's fine.
And that's sad. And I think it's because she's used to situations like this. Like, this is her comfort zone, being in verbally abusive relationships.
Like, she feels like she's, I don't know, like, it's not as bothersome to her as it is to us.
Yeah, I don't like it. I also think it's a little strange they haven't had sex yet.
I'm still confused about that whole thing because I can't tell whose idea it is anymore. And one minute Katina's like, yeah. And the next minute Katina's like, nah. So I don't know.
I don't either. I can't quite figure that one out. I know they're saying it's because they want to build an emotional connection, but they both seem like pretty sexual people.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice to know the real reason they're holding out.
Yeah, because at this point, we all know Jasmina and Michael are for the reason. We all know the reason why. But at this point, they're the only ones that, say they like each other that haven't.
Does Jasmina like him?
No, I'm talking about Katina and Elijah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Ooh, and even Jasmina was hot about what Elijah Wan was doing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, it's bad if Lindsay failed attempt at trying to come to your defense, but if Lindsay's trying to come to her defense.
I actually didn't know what she was trying to do in that moment. Is that what she was doing?
Yeah, she was trying to come to Katina's defense, but she was still being disrespectful. Like, what? I still cannot get over that she called her a bitch.
Yeah, and more than once.
I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that whole situation was crazy.
I don't know what Katina's gonna do, but
I pray to God she says no on decision day.
I would bet my bottom dollar that she's gonna say yes.
I feel like she will. And that makes me sad for her.
The crazy part about it is I don't know if Elijah Wan will say yes.
I hope somebody need to say no. I don't care who it is, actually. But one of y'all need to say no.
I don't know.
And then leave each other alone.
I feel like Elijah Wan would say no before Katina does, honestly.
Good. You deserve better. She deserves better.
No, I'm just saying you're saying good. Like, I feel like she should be the one to say no, though.
She should, but I don't know. She may still have some things to work through, too. Like, being in an emotionally and verbally abusive relationship, that's traumatizing.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want her to get so used to that this feels, I don't know, normal. Like, oh, this is just a part of the normal ups and downs of a relationship. Girl, no, it's not. This is not.
I don't understand, like, where are the experts at? Why are they watching from a distance or whatever?
I hope they're going to be on next week's episode. I think Dr. Pepper makes an appearance. It's her turn, isn't it? Pastor Calston come through. Viviana came through.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't really feel like she's that helpful.
Viviana? Because I feel like she didn't do nothing last week.
No, I'm saying, well, yeah, I don't feel like Dr. Pepper's that helpful, though.
The only couple right now who I see making it is Steve and Noe. The Moys.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'm so confused with Steve and Noe because I feel like him not working thing is going to be a really big problem. And I feel like Noe will say yes even if Steve isn't working, but I don't think Steve will say yes if Noe can't support him in all he's worked for.
Yeah. If they don't make it, it would be because Steve says no. Because like you said, Noe is not saying no.
Yeah, like I wouldn't blame him. If I got to the point where I saved so much money where I don't have to work and I'm just like I can just figure out like what I want to do next. I don't want to work for somebody else right now. I want to work on myself and what I want to work towards and work, whatever, be entrepreneur, whatever it is. I want to do a job that I enjoy and I want to take this time to find out what that is. So I saved all this money so I can do that. And for you to be like, hell no.
Oh yeah, she don't want to hear that.
That would be so heartbreaking.
That's not a concrete plan for you to be like, I need to figure it out.
Save that much money to live off of be able to live off of for X amount of years. And he says that he has enough to be able to support them fully, where she wouldn't even have to pay a bill. That's a lot of hard work. I'm just thinking about the hard work, not even the amount of money, the amount of discipline and hard work it took for him to get there. Maybe just Noe being just rigid in general, even with the kids, like, even though they'd be like, okay, that's something that's down the road or whatever, but just her no flexibility on the 3 kids thing. That could be a red flag.
Yeah, she does need to loosen up some. Yeah, it seems like when they come out of their little like fairy tale bubble,
yeah,
they have issues. And maybe that's why Noe has been avoiding it. She wants to stay in their little happy place.
Maybe.
And she knows that if she steps outside of that, it's going to be a thing. And I think she is still probably too trying to work through the way she handles conflict and issues. I wonder if that's another reason why. Because I think she does handle a lot of things by just walking away or shutting down. So maybe that's another reason she's been avoiding.
That's hard. That's very hard, especially when you have two different ideas on a lot of things. And you can't have discussions about them because the other person gets, shuts down when they get overwhelmed. It's hard to work through things.
Yeah, I actually wonder if that's what's been happening.
Maybe.
I could see that. I mean, based off of the whole noodle issue.
I just think she has this idea for some reason that there's never going to be issues about anything. In relationships, you're going to argue about noodles. It's stupid. You're going to argue about the dumbest stuff. It's going to be the dumbest things. Yes, it happens. It happens. It's normal. It's not, you are 2 different people. Sometimes you'll get aggravated with each other. Sometimes you'll get tired of each other. It happens. It doesn't mean your marriage is doomed to fail. It doesn't mean that y'all aren't meant to be together. None of that stuff is true.
And you know what I've noticed? She seems to have all this wisdom when it comes to communication and relationships when she's with the other women. But when she's with Steve, it's like she forgets all of that.
Because all she does is regurgitate what Steve told her. That's what I get. Half of the stuff that she says to them is something Steve told her.
Steve. Yeah, he's learned his lessons and he's definitely applying them in this relationship.
I'm like, look at Noe. All she's doing is saying what Steve just said.
But I do wish that she would take that, not her. So I'm going to transition to Jasmina. But the attitude that Noe has about the conflicts that her and Steve have encountered, I wish Jasmina would have that same attitude about her and Michael's conflict. Yeah. Like she said, the last 4 weeks have been a waste. No, you guys, actually, you could have used that to learn about each other. and how to communicate. Learn his communication style. That's what he's doing.
Right.
It's actually a learning opportunity.
I got Pastor Cal's book because I was just curious. And I was reading it today. And that is one thing that he said in his book. He was like, conflict has a goal. You have to put a goal, basically change your mindset around it. Instead of it seeing as this negative thing, see it as a means for you to better understand each other. The reason why you have conflict is because there's some misunderstanding somewhere. Where can we got to get to the root of where we're not understanding each other, where we're not connecting. So using conflict as a way, like, okay, this is what this means. We're not understanding each other. Okay, where are we gonna figure it out from here? Instead of being like, oh, it was a waste. How was it a waste? Right. It was a waste if you didn't use it properly. If you didn't take advantage of the conflict, yeah, it was a waste.
Yeah. I'm starting to see that she's actually the negative one here. It's not Michael. It's definitely her. Yeah. I'm no longer on the Jasmina train.
I mean, she's still gorgeous and effortlessly flawless.
She looked amazing. In that purple on the after show, she looked amazing.
But she's beautiful. Her attitude.
And I wonder if that's why she acts like this.
Maybe.
Pretty people, attractive people, they be getting away with stuff because people let them get away with stuff.
That Drake song, Pretty Girl, I don't know the lyrics, let me not. Something about pretty girl this, pretty girl that.
Yeah, they have these little stank attitudes because no one checks them or calls them out on it.
Yeah. Oh, I know the Lucky Day song. I know you a 10, but that attitude ain't fine. I know that lyric. Yep, that's exactly. Yep. Shout out to Lucky Day.
Do you hear that, Jasmina? Your inside should match your outside, okay?
Yep. I mean, I just feel like she's just, I don't know, maybe the way she's been treated previously, maybe because all her relationships have been long distance. And it's kind of hard to have that conflict like that when you're not really around the person ever.
Yeah. And it's easier to avoid stuff too.
Yeah, it's easier to miss stuff. It's easier to brush things off. It's easier to just be like, oh, well, it's easier to ignore because it's not in your face constantly where you have to really deal with it. So maybe this is the first time with her being in a relationship, not only with the person in the same city, but they're living together. The first time she's had to confront a lot of things head on. Yeah.
And another thing too, I don't know if she truly knows what it is she needs to feel love. That's why I think, Michael's been doing all these things and she's just like, no, I don't feel the effort. Well, what is it that you need then?
It seems like she just wants him to be her little puppy dog and just be like, yes, Jasmina, whatever you say, Jasmina. What do you want me to do, Jasmina? That's what she seems like she wants.
That's not a love language, Jasmine. I'm confused.
Just like accept everything she says. If Jasmine says I'm yelling, I'm yelling. If Jasmine says I have a tone, I have a tone.
If Jasmina don't want to journal, we not gonna journal.
Exactly. Like everything is what she wants. And maybe that's what has been given to her in the past. Like I said, that's easy to do when you're just tolerating someone and you're just like, all right, we can do this. And then I'm about to go do my own thing later anyway because we don't live together. We're not in the same city.
Michael, don't let her slide too much. I know she's pretty, but
I feel like he tries to be, I feel like he tries to be strong, but anytime he tries to raise up and exert any type of, standing up for himself, it's a problem.
And stop yelling. Calm down, Jasmina. I'm talking like this.
No, you can talk to me without a tone. I can sense a tone. I know how to communicate. I don't think I should have to explain communication to you.
It's basic.
You just talk. You just talk to someone.
Oh, goodness. I still cannot get over the way she said his name that one week. Oh, that was so funny to me. These couples have made for some very interesting television.
It's crazy because I feel like I can see, you know, like when you see people and be like, oh, I see why you're single. I see why you was single. Like first, I can like, oh yeah, I see why you were single before.
Yes, Lindsay, I definitely see it. Elijah Wan, I see it. Jasmina, I see it.
So with some people, you can see
Noi.
that they were single, and it's like they're the reason why. And then there's some where you can see they were single probably because they were just with the wrong person. Like I feel like Steve is probably one of those where he's just been with the wrong people because he seems like he knows like a lot, and he just hasn't found that person that can match his level.
Katina, I could see she's probably been with the wrong people too.
Yeah. Sometimes you can tell, like, you know, some people just been with the wrong people, and some people are just they're the wrong people that people have been with.
Lindsay, Elijah Wan, and Jasmina.
Yep, they've definitely been the wrong people.
And Alyssa.
Oh, Lord.
You saw Chris made an appearance. I'm glad you're doing well, Chris. I'm glad you're well.
For a little hot minute. But I'm like, how's he hanging out with Chris and texting Alyssa? Mark, come on now.
I don't know. But also, Married at First Sight, thank you for not putting Alyssa on the show because we know she's been at them apartments.
For what?
Thank you for not showing it.
How did she just show up at the apartments? Because what Lindsay said, she saw that Mark was on the roof. So she was like, oh, I'm just going to come. What, girl? You don't live here?
Because she want to be on camera. She thinks if she hangs around, she will be on the camera. On our TV screens.
See, in that instance, I would not be mad at Lindsay for going off. And she didn't even go off because I would have went off.
Yeah,
Mark
wants people to like him. That's one thing I don't like about him. He's too much of a people pleaser, and he worries too much about what other people think.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either, because you can't do that in a relationship. In a relationship, it matters what your spouse thinks. That's what it matters. Yeah. How they feel is what matters. Because at the end of the day, that's who's going to be with you to the end of the days, for the end of the time. While these people move on, while these people move to different cities, while these people go on other adventures in their lives, your spouse is going to be the one that's going to be right there with you, or they should be. So there's no way that somebody else's feelings should come before how somebody else feels should come before how your spouse or your significant other feels. No.
Yes.
Not a stranger.
Exactly, Mark.
Not
you
no
need to
stranger.
have your spouse's back.
Not no stranger.
You need to learn how to do that. If I got a problem with someone, you got a problem with them too.
Yeah, because that means that if I have a problem with them, it's because they did something to me. So if they did something to me, you should be like, why you do this to my wife? And you should have a problem with them doing something to me.
I agree. You don't like her? I don't like her. Yeah, I feel the same way for you. You don't like them? I don't like them either.
Yeah, because I'm going to feel like you did something to my husband. So
I got your back.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, did I say all my predictions? I think I did. Oh, Jasmina and Michael.
No.
They're no. I don't think either one of them are going to say yes.
No.
Nope.
I think Steve and Noi. I think yes. I think they'll both say yes.
I think Steve is going to say no. I think Steve is going to pull I don't think we should stay married, but we should see where this goes.
No, I don't see him doing that.
I do
not see him doing that.
I think so.
In that case, just say yes. Don't be like Zach. Do not do that. Just say yes then and see where it goes. I mean, this doesn't make sense. Why say no? And so you want to get divorced and date?
It kind of gives me a Sal from Love Is Blind, like how he said no to Mallory. I feel like because he has such, just strong reservations. Like if you can help reassure me, then I'll be okay. I feel like that's how Steve is going to be. He's going to be like, I feel I'm not very 100% confident in our ability to make this work. I don't think Steve is 100% confident in their ability to make it work.
But he seems a little head over heels at times. So I don't know.
I thought the same thing about Sal.
Oh, no, I don't know. Mallory wasn't really. But see, in this case, Noi and Steve like each other. Mallory didn't like Sal. You could tell.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I still think Steve is going to say no. Unless something changes in the next 4 weeks, I feel like if decision day was tomorrow, he would say no.
Lindsay and Mark.
I think Mark will say no and Lindsay will say yes.
I agree.
So I think that's everyone. And I
Katina and Elijah.
I think Elijah will say no and Katina will say yes. Actually, I'm trying, because sometimes it depends on who goes first. You know what I'm saying?
I actually think they'll both say yes.
You think they'll both say yes?
I do. I think there's something about toxicity that Katina is drawn to. And I don't think Elijah going to say no. Not right now, I don't.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, it depends. If Elijah gets asked first, he's going to say no. I think if Katina gets asked first, she's going to say yes and he's going to say no.
See, and I feel like he would do that as like a power play. I don't like him. I think his answer is going to depend on whether or not she made him dinner and cleaned up the night before.
Oh, Lord, I hope not. He needs to figure that out.
I think that's what it will be based on. And that girl will probably be on her hands and knees scrubbing that floor so that he will say yes.
Katina will say, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Like she did the other night.
Not after seeing how he acted and how upset that made him.
It's crazy.
She over there wooing him with candy and gondola rides.
Like I said, I feel like it's really disappointing because she likes doing those things for him, and he just doesn't see it. Yeah. I don't even think doing those things is a problem for her. That's the thing. That's the thing that's like throwing me.
Mm-hmm.
I could see if she was like, oh, I don't like doing this, but she enjoys it. She enjoys the cooking and cleaning. She just enjoys doing stuff for him. She enjoys catering to him. Like she enjoys it. She gets enjoyment out of it, which is, fine. Like sometimes people get enjoyment out of taking care of other people, but he doesn't even recognize, like, it's not even a problem, guy. You're making a problem when there's no problem. She wants to do it.
And I've also noticed, so people tend to show others the love language that they need. He has not done that. What act of service has he shown her?
Yeah, sometimes they do. That's true.
I don't know. I just feel like he just wants things to be all about him. It's all about me and my needs and what I want and my expectations.
I mean, what does Katina want, though? I wish she would be more.
I don't know.
I wish she would be more vocal, even if it's not to him, like even to the camera. Like, girl, what is it that you want?
I don't know what it is she needs. I wonder if she just needs to feel needed and wanted. I know that's not a love language, but I feel like as long as she feels wanted, then she's fine. Mm-hmm. Wanted and desired.
I'm trying to think. I mean, so does that mean that her love language would be like affection or words of affirmation?
Oh, maybe words of affirmation.
Huh.
I mean, he's a talker now. So why aren't you doing that?
I don't
or maybe he is and we're just not seeing it.
I know. I feel like there's so much that doesn't get seen sometimes. That's like not on camera. And I honestly don't feel like we see that much of Elijah and Katina because he works a lot. Well, that's all we have for this week's episode.
Yeah, so tune in next week when we are back to discuss episode 12. Over halfway there.
Yeah. Go ahead and drop your comments about what your updated predictions are or what your predictions are, period. And we'll see how they match up with ours. Like, subscribe, and tune in next time.
All right, guys. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.